It is now my distinct honor to introduce you to this year's 2024 commencement speaker, Dr. Yasmin Davidds. She is an highly accomplished academic and business owner who is sure to make a lasting impression on all of you today. Dr. Davidds is the CEO of the Yasmin Davidds Leadership Institute, as well as president and CEO of the Multicultural Women's Executive Leadership Foundation. She holds a doctorate in organizational psychology from Phillips Graduate Institute, a master's degree in liberal arts from San Diego State University, and a bachelor's degree in business administration from USC. She partnered with USC's Marshall School of Business and a plethora of nonprofits to share innovative techniques and strategies for directing business plan development, designing partnership models, and creating the first programs in the United States to approach critical leadership skills from a gender-based, cultural, and global perspective. Her commitment to the empowerment and development of women leaders has brought her recognition and acclaim from the U.S. Congress, the California State Senate, and the California State Assembly. She was recognized and highlighted as one of the top leading Latinas by Hispanic Magazine and as one of the most influential Latinas in the Book of Latina Women. She is also a certified emotional intelligence practitioner and a dear friend. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Yasmin Davidds to the stage.
Welcome. I am so excited to be here, not only because I'm your commencement speaker, but because I'm receiving an honorary doctorate from University of La Verne, and I'm going to be a Leo for life in just a few minutes, just like you. So I feel like we're familia. And as traditional familia, we tend to give unsolicited advice. So let me get started with that. First of all, I want to start by saying I am a proud Latina. A proud Latina with immigrant parents from Chihuahua, Mexico, and from Quito, Ecuador. Do we have any Mexicanos here, or Mexicanas? How about Ecuatorianos, Ecuatorianas? Back here. Beautiful. I am proud that my parents came here with second and third grade education, really working hard for a better life for their future children. I am so proud of the sacrifices they made for us. I am equally proud to say I am a Latina survivor. Survivor of abuse, survivor of depression, survivor of addiction. Now you may ask, what does one have to do with the other? They're all part of my identity, part of who I am, the proud person that I am. They all encompass who I've become, and I'm not ashamed of any of it. And I want to share with you and give you a little bit of context that has to do with my message today. And that is that as a 5-year-old child, I decided I wanted to change the world and make it better for women. 5 years old. That came from being and growing up in that small age at a very dysfunctional family where my father was very abusive to my mother, sisters, and I. And I said, Mami, ¿por qué? Why? Why do we stay? And she said, Mijita, I don't speak the English language. I don't have any skills. If we leave, we will be homeless. This is just the way things are. And I said, oh no, Mami. When I grow up, I'm going to change the world and make it better for women. And she said, how? I said, I have no idea. But in my little gutsy guts at the age of 5, I made an outrageous choice at that age. Very aspirational choice that I was going to change the world and make it better for women. It was a way to find hope in a hopeless situation. But I became so committed to this cause that it gave me purpose to get up every day and go to school and go to class and fight the bullies that were pushing little girls around, became president of my school, president of my high school, went on to college, and really believed in this purpose. When I was at my undergraduate school, USC, I'm a proud USC Trojan, yes I am, but when I was there, I did have business school students say, what are you going to do, once you graduate as an entrepreneur? And I said, I'm going to create businesses and companies and foundations that are going to change the world for women. And they said, you're so cute. And I go, what do you mean? Well, hello, aren't you going to make money? I said, yes, you can make money doing that as well. And they said, oh, no. I go, what are you going to do? They said, we're going to make lots of money. I said, then what are you going to do with that money? They said, we're going to invest it and make more money. I said, and what are you going to do with that? They said, invest it and make more. I said, well, when do you help people? And they said, you should have gone to the social work school. I said, I'll show you, in a very loving way. Because, once again, I was outrageously aspirational. And that is my number one lesson here. In this message, there's a few, but number one is be outrageously aspirational, even if you don't have a plan. I didn't have a plan knowing how I was going to change the world, but let me tell you how it worked out. At the age of 20, my father tried to kill us as a family. I survived, went through a deep depression, hit rock bottom, became suicidal, ended up turning to drugs. I was a closet user because I was so ashamed, but yet had a chemical depression. And then I found rehab. Someone saved my life and took me to rehab. And I found community there. I found a purpose to live. Then I went on, at the age of 25, 26, I got married to an NFL player. We took each other's last names. He was the first NFL player to put his wife's last name on his jersey. Yes, but the media and his family was not happy about that. I became the worst nightmare because all these wives started going to their husbands saying, look what she did. Why don't you do that for me? So it became this big thing. I ruined the NFL, supposedly. And unfortunately, his family stopped talking to us for 2 years, 3 years, because we disgraced the family, the last name, the Latino culture. And we were very sad. And so I was getting my master's at this time, and I went to the faculty and I said, I love my culture. I love being Latina, but this machismo thing is killing me. And they said, it has to do with familia, don't touch it. I said, oh no, don't tell me not to touch something, because I will touch it 3 times over. And then I had all these young Latinas come up to me and say, how you have the courage to do that. I wish I had your courage. I said, I didn't cure cancer. I didn't do anything. We just made a personal choice with the last names. And, oh, I could never do that, they said. So I started traveling the country using my story to bond with Latina women and doing my research, trying to find out why did Latinas not feel strong enough to live their lives for themselves, why they felt they could not stand and make a decision like this. And my research showed in over 1,000 Latinas that about 70% of them, especially immigrant women, were living in a mild depression, of not owning their lives, of not owning their power, of being ashamed of what happened to them, whether it was abuse, rape, molestation, whatever it was, there was shame. And that took their power away. And I said, oh no, I need to turn this around. That's when I decided to write my first book, called Empowering Latinas, Breaking Boundaries, Freeing Lives. That was 23 years ago. And that book shared my story of survival, of all the abuse. Everything I went through came from a place of love and saying, I love being Latina, but we gotta change these cultural machismo that's hurting our women. And let me tell you what happened. I had no idea that that book was going to create a movement that throughout 22 different countries. The book was in English and Spanish, where I had thousands of Latinas emailing me, writing me, saying, I was going to kill myself. I felt I didn't have hope. Hearing your story gave me hope that I am not flawed, that I could turn my life around, that I could get out of a situation, that I could do so many things with my life. I now choose to live. And I realized that I being outrageously aspirational, following what I felt was right. I didn't need a plan. The plan found me. The path found me. And what I mean by that is sometimes we feel we need to have a plan. Step 1, step 2, I can't be outrageously aspirational. I don't have a plan to do it. You don't need to have a plan. As long as you stay true to your purpose of what you want to do, the plan, the path will find you. What that led me to do, after all these women came, thousands of women, and I saw the impact, this is what I knew, that my life was meant for contribution and impact. Message number 2, rewrite your life story. What that means is that if you are human, you're gonna go through trauma, you're gonna be betrayed, you're gonna lose, you're gonna fail in so many ways. And just like our beautiful President Davi shared with you in her message that aligns with so much that I'm sharing with you, is that it's how you choose to see these situations, how you choose to reframe them. And even if you can find the gift in them, no matter how bad they may be, it will change your life. And let me tell you how that happens. I see the abuse of what happened, I see it as the gift that gave me purpose. I see my mother not being able to protect us as the gift that taught me compassion, because she really wanted to leave, but she didn't feel the strength, that she had the strength to do it. I see the fact of her telling me I couldn't get my education. Get your education. There's no surprise that I got a doctorate degree. I see everything in life. I was one of 3 daughters my mother had. I'm the only one left. I've lost my 2 sisters. They have died. They have given me the gift of living every day to the fullest. No matter what you throw at me, I will turn it around, and I will find the gift in it. Because let me tell you what that does for you. It removes all elements of shame. It removes all elements of limitations in your life, and it helps you to find a purpose for your pain. Find a purpose for whatever it is you go through. So much so, and you're gonna think this is a little weird, but when I'm going through things on a day like today or tomorrow, something might happen, and I'm in deep pain, I actually get a little excited about what I'm gonna learn from it. I'm like, this hurts so much, I can't wait, please teach me what this is supposed to teach me, because I get now to teach others. And that's what helps me endure whatever's happening to me. One of my famous quotes that I love is, "It's okay, throw me to the wolves. I'll come back leading the pack." And what that means is that I will turn anything around. So rewrite your life story. Find purpose in your pain. Do not ever suffer in vain. And the third message is live a life of contribution. That will lead you to fulfillment. Let me tell you, when I was what would be considered an NFL wife, which means the big contract, the big money, I had a beautiful daughter, I was married, the limelight, I was not happy. I was not happy because I wasn't fulfilled. I had what I thought I was supposed to have and supposed to be happy with, but I wasn't contributing in a way that made me feel that I was making an impact in the world, that I was changing the world. We can find happiness through different things in life, our family, our friends, whatever it is that we do in life, but fulfillment, true fulfillment, comes from contribution. So find a way to contribute to the world. Be outrageously aspirational and rewrite your life story. And with that, you will change the world. Thank you. One last thing, I couldn't leave here without thanking a beautiful man that you all maybe all know, Dr. Eric Bishop. Who knows Dr. Eric Bishop here? He has been a proponent for women leadership, stands behind them, supporting women programs, my women's leadership program in every which way. He is a gem. Thank you, Dr. Bishop, for everything that you do.
Thank you so much, Dr. Davidds, for your wisdom and words to our graduates. Today, in recognition of your accomplishments, you will be presented with the highest degree issued at our university. I'd like to invite our Provost, Risa Dixon, and Trustee Wendy Lau to the podium to assist with the hooding during this special presentation as I read the commendation. The University of La Verne, the Board of Trustees, upon the recommendation of its faculty, confer upon Yasmin Davidds the honorary degree of Doctor of Humane Letters with all the rights, privileges, and honors thereto pertaining, given at La Verne, California, this 25th day of May, 2024.